your play so far. Just how have you sort of made of it in your assessment?
Well, I've been really pleased with the results. Performances have been good. A lot of good things to like in both games we played. In Newcastle, we done a lot of good things, and I thought we played well against Leicester. Leicester are an excellent team, and proved that last season. So I think that overall I'm really pleased, and I'm pleased that we scored the goals. But I want us to win the games, and if we can do it with a bit of style, then that'd be great.
There's only one moment now I think overshadowed sort of the performance that you had most recently, and that's Michail Antonio. Of course, we know that he's a character in his own, but have you spoken to him about this goal celebration? Because I just need to know where it came from, where the creativity was.
Well, I certainly don't know where it came from until I get told it was from one of the movies. I don't know if it was Dirty Dancing or something like that. But he's been a cardboard cutout for a few years, so it was it was good that he was able to pick one up, and great achievement to break the goal scoring record. And as I said the other day, I'm hoping that he's going to go on to beat the record by 30-40 goals. I really do.
You've been really purposeful within this window, speaking of huge intention of wanting to still add towards the squad. We know Kurt Zouma, of course, did his medical yesterday. In terms of just where he would fit in terms of your plans, if that was to be completed, how do you see Kurt in terms of fitting in with your team?
Well, we lost Fabio Balbuena last year. We had 4 centre-halves last year. This year we've only got 3. I think it's not enough to go through the league and through the season what we've got in front of us. We've had an offer accepted from Chelsea on Kurt, but he's still completing his medical at the moment, so I couldn't tell you if that's complete yet or not. I'm just back in from training, but I'm hoping that it does go through and we can get a 4th centre-half, because I think we're short of one at this moment in time.
And just your initial reaction, of course, West Ham are in European competition this year, which will put a lot of smiles on Hammers fans. I've just had a look in terms of the draw. Just your reaction in terms of the group stage and how you feel that's going to fare out for you as well.
We're really excited. We sort of watched the draw, most of us this morning. We were able to see it, and we're watching the pots coming out. So the biggest thrill was to see West Ham in one of the pots back in Europe. Get the supporters back at the games, hopefully, as well. Hopefully we can get them to the away games. If we can't, at least we'll get them back to the London Stadium for the games. But look, for us, it's a great opportunity. But I have to say the players earned it by their performances last year. They played so well. Some of the games, some of the performances throughout the season, and rightly so, they merited a place in European competition.
My final question to you, David, is of course just another positive one in terms of additions. I know that you've been open about wanting to compete in all fronts in terms of European competition, the cup competitions, and still wanting to maintain the excellence within the league. Can we expect any more additions, as well as obviously the optimism that Kurt Zouma can come in? I know you were looking at attacking midfielders to obviously bolster the attacking threats that you have there.
Well, we're looking at trying to add to the squad if we think we can get players in who can make a difference. I believe that we will, but ultimately, I can't promise it, because sometimes these things don't just happen. It's not all that easy getting the players over the line. And this window, that's what I found. But let's hope we can. If we can, and the team keeps playing the way it is, I'll be even happier, because the team's been excellent. But we can give the team a little bit more sort of competition and more players to the squad. I think it would help.
Thanks, JD. Olivia from PLP.
Hi, David.
Hi there, how you doing?
Your attack is obviously getting a lot of praise, and rightly so, Michail Antonio as well. But is it right we also touch on how defensively solid your team has been as well?
Yeah, I think we've done a lot of good things. I wasn't happy that we conceded 2 goals at Newcastle, because I don't want to have to concede 2 goals to score 4 every game. But I think we've got signs that we're getting better defensively as well. I think we were a wee bit slow at the start. Angelo we'd missed quite a few games with injury, but it's now back with us. So I'm pleased, but I hope that we can have a good defensive structure, because I don't know of any. I think to win you have to have a strong defence. I think the best teams all have a good defence, and we've got to try and get that in place.
And is consistency, would you say, the most important thing for your team now? A lot of people talking about you being top of the league and keeping that up, and you've got a nice run of fixtures, so you could, if you're consistent, you could stay there.
Well, that's the plan. The plan is to try and keep winning and keep getting a level of consistency. I think last year we showed probably the best level of consistency we've had for a long time at the club. We became really strong just after January, February, and we went into a real consistent run, which I think has been shown by a sort of league table of the Premier League clubs in 2021. I think we're up there with Man City and a few other teams. So it shows you how well we've done. We started this season well, and I think the challenge is to keep that going as long as we can.
And you haven't beaten Crystal Palace at home for a couple of seasons now. Is this the perfect time to play them when confidence is at an all-time high?
Yeah, well, look, it's a game which we treat the same as all the others. Patrick Vieira's been an unbelievable player, and he's had a really good managerial background, and he's learned from different situations. Part of the Man City group, and then went and managed in France, and now back in the Premier League. So I think he'll come and he's learning his trade in the Premier League as a manager, but he certainly knows his way around it as a footballer, and knows how good teams look. So we're expecting a really tough game.
And just finally, just one question on Crystal Palace. Obviously, it's tough to judge. He's only been in charge for 2 Premier League games, but have you watched those games back, and what sort of challenge do you face?
Well, I have watched them back, and I've looked at Crystal Palace, and I think Crystal Palace, the first game was a really tough game against Chelsea, and then they've drawn against Brentford. But Brentford, in their own right, will be a good team, and they'll be a hard team to play against for different reasons. So I think Crystal Palace are finding their feet. I think the managers get to know the players. They've brought in, there'll be quite a few changes as well, which can take time to settle in. So I hope it's a good time to play Crystal Palace, but you never know. In football, you never, just have no idea.
Thanks, Olivia. Emma, BBC London.
Hello, David. Sorry, I'm probably a big black screen again. I do apologise. I don't get the technology right. It's always nice to be proved wrong, David. I think I speculated with you before the Leicester match that maybe having the fans back would impact the players in a negative way. It was quite a privilege to be there on Monday night. I just wonder how you felt as a team, and how you feel that maybe the fans are warming to London Stadium as well after special nights like that.
Yeah, I do, Emma. I thought the support was magnificent. I actually thought that we gave them something to shout about. I thought it was a terrific team performance, which helped as well. But the crowd didn't half get behind us. The goals, the way they were celebrated. And there's been a couple of changes, Emma, at the stadium. They brought the sort of the ends in behind the goals, which I think helped as well. It made the supporters certainly closer to the pitch in some areas. So I think that made a big difference as well. But I hope that the way the team's playing is giving the supporters really something to sort of enjoy. Look forward to coming to the stadium, and hope we can keep it up.
You say you want to bring in more players to improve your side, but if you keep playing like that, how easy is it for you to persuade the club that you need to add to your team?
I've got no problem with the persuasion to the club, because they know exactly that we would like to add to the squad. This time last year we had Fabi Valbuena, we had Jesse Lingard here. So at the moment, we're sort of 2 players down from the squad we finished last season with. So we know that we have to add to that, and the club certainly do. But trying to find the right ones and trying to add to the level of players we have at the club. And we want players who are going to come in and be competitive with the ones we've got, so that if we lose a player through injury or suspension, we've got somebody who we can come in at a similar level. It's not been quite as easy to get, but I hope we can. There's a few days to go. I hope we can add to it. But I don't want to just bring in people for the sake of it, because it's something which everybody feels is the right thing. I certainly don't feel it's the right thing just to bring them in for the sake of it.
Ronaldo might be available, David. You fancy
that? Yeah. If he fancies a year or so in London, well, he can give me a ring, and we can see what we can do. It'd be nice to have him, and he would be yet another great addition to the Premier League. The Premier League have brought in some really good players this year, and a lot of the biggish clubs are signing really well. So it looks like an exciting season, very competitive, and I'm glad to say at the moment, we're the ones that are having to chase.
Thank you, David. Good luck.
Cheers.
Thanks, Emma. Cameras off, please. Thank you. Jack, do you want to kick off the written for us, please?
Yeah, afternoon, David.
Jack.